Those who do nothing are inviting shame as well as violence. Those who act boldly are recognizing right as well as reality.
What's up, YouTube? Back with another video. As you can see by the title, this one is on a basic tabletop, not a full review yet, because I just got this knife. But it's a basic tabletop on the Kershaw Clash. We'll run down some specs, and then I'll give you my ideas on it, and we'll go from there. First of all, the main thing most people want to know about is the blade steel, and as you can see right there, it's an 8CR13 MOV, also known as the alphabet soup steel or just alphabet steel. I was a knife guy when I was younger, when I was a kid. Got out of knives, started getting into guns, and honestly that's my main passion. But slowly but surely I'm getting back into knives. I'm still not a big knife guy, super high end, hundreds of dollars, not yet anyway, but right now I'm just looking for, decent quality, affordable knives, and this definitely falls into that category. And I say that because the steel isn't, the best steel there is. It's not the greatest steel on the market right now, but definitely not a bad steel. There's some arguments on, how well it holds an edge, but I don't think there is any argument on how easy it is to get an edge on there. Maintaining it isn't hard either. You'll hear most guys, there's a lot of reviews online about this, you'll hear most guys saying, oh, you just strop it or you just hone it every night if you put it through some heavy use and it's back to razor sharp. Most guys just let you know, even if you roll it or you dull it, it's not a hard steel to get back to our hair shaving sharpness. So it's not horrible steel. It's pretty much equivalent to a Japanese Aus 8 steel. This is going to be their GFN handle, glass-filled nylon handle. So it's not a G10. In fact, it's not very grippy at all. This pattern they have here, and then they have sort of a faux checkered G10 pattern here, which is pretty smooth. Mimicked on the other side. Not a great deal of traction, but I do have to say the way that the handle is laid out, it does fit securely in the hand, so it doesn't feel like it's going to move at all. This is probably one of the most ergo knives that I've held in a very long time. With this finger choil here, my finger just sinks right in. As you can see, there's a bow to the handle right here. These other three will lock in, and then it just, not a full pistol style grip, but it does angle down pretty good, where you can get a good purchase at the bottom. And then there's this scooped section here where it looks like instead of totally rounding, they scoop it back up, and your thumb, whether you're a fingertip guy or a knuckle kind of guy, it fits right in there. So not a lot of texturing and grip to this, but ergonomic enough where it fits very comfortably in the hand. The blade length is going to be a 3-inch blade length. Cutting area on the blade almost goes all the way back. You're losing about 1/4 of an inch, so probably about 2 3/4 inch cutting area here, but the full blade length is 3 inches. Closed, it is 4 1/4 inches, which gives it a 7 1/4 inch total overall length when opened. So there's a lot of arguments about that, about blade size. Is is that considered a large blade, medium blade? You know, there's some guys out there that deal with nothing but really big knives, and it's, oh, that's a small blade, you know. And you got these other guys that have these very small EDC knives, and they'll go, man, that blade is huge. So it's just a matter of perspective. It's just a matter of, you know, what you're comfortable with and what you're going to use it for, and so on and so forth. The overall weight is 4 ounces. Now, as most of you can see, I've opened it twice already on camera, and I've used this this flipper here, and that's 2 reasons. One, because as you can see, there's no, as you can see, there would be no thumb studs. Oop, there we go. No thumb studs on either side of the blade to actuate opening here, you know, of the blade. So the only way to actuate it is through this flipper, but it is in possession of the patented speed safe assisted opening. So you do have to give it a little bit of push. It's not just touching it and it flies open like some models, but it's not, you know, you're not wrenching down on it. One good little push and the blade pops right out. I think it's a very smooth open, very smooth closing. I've been playing with it pretty much most of the day, but it's just very smooth, very, very smooth. I really do like Kershaw's speed safe assisted opening. I think it's very smooth. I think it's very fast. And if you don't like how fast it is just doing the flipper, you know, you could always give it a little flick and it'll come out even faster. But I think I like the deployment with just the flipper actuation. It is a liner lock, as you can see there. One of the only hits I can give it, and this is my personal preference, is there's a lot of liner locks that are flat on flat, and sometimes that feels a little bit more safe. As you can see, it is angled over, so it can slide in and out properly. I've heard some people say, you know, when it's angled too much, at too great of an angle, it's nothing to put a little bit of pressure on the blade and it just slides over. As far as this is concerned, I don't think it's too sharp of an angle, so I won't even give it a full hit for that. Blade lockup, no side to side whatsoever out of the box. No front and back. I mean, there is no blade movement. This locks up solid. I've seen some videos where the guys are like, oh yeah, there's a little bit of blade movement, and it's a bad thing, or yeah, there's a little side to side movement, and that's for the speed safe actuating. Mine has none. Not only that, but I've also seen some videos where the guys say that the blade doesn't center up very well, and it is way off to one side. And because it is a video, you could see it for yourself. It pretty much is off to one side. But if you take a look at mine, you can see that it is to one side. But like I try to remind people, when you have a liner locker, that is going to put pressure against the blade. So to try to center that blade is not always going to come out perfectly. Now the camera is really not doing this justice. It looks more off on camera than it does to the naked eye. But if you can see that, I mean, it is not off by much. It's off enough where you can notice it, but it is not off by much. I think centering on this is actually pretty good for a liner lock. It does have these T6 torque screws which hold this down. You can't see them in because it is a closed back design, but it does have those columns and those bolsters that'll hold it down, that go all the way through. You also have a Torx head for the pivot screw here, so you can adjust the tension any way that you see fit. It also does come with a belt clip. A lot of people don't like the belt clip. I do. I think it's very strong without being ridiculously strong. And a lot of people complain about this wide paddle design. I actually like it. I feel like those thinner clips would need to be a lot stronger and a lot more tension and lot more tight on your pocket because they are so narrow. But I feel like something like this that has a lot more surface area doesn't need to be as tight. And in fact that it is as tight as it is, I think this is a great pocket clip. I am not opposed. Some people, I buy knives that I like, you know, and I don't care who sees them. I don't care who sees and questions me about my knife. I wish I can be as open about my guns as I am about knives, because I'd open carry if I could in my state. I don't have a problem with owning these things because I don't feel embarrassed or ashamed, and I don't feel anybody should judge me for that, and it doesn't bother me that people see these things. So a lot of people complain that it's a low ride, a lot of the knife sticks out, messes with concealability, the thick pocket clip can be seen, you know, and all. I don't have a problem with that, you know. Matter of fact, I carried this around all day because another complaint I heard is that the weight on this is heavy for an EDC knife. Well, the funny thing about that is part of my EDC is my Leatherman, and attached to the Leatherman is my Leatherman pocket knife that I always keep attached to it, and you know, it doesn't weigh much, maybe an ounce, but that's attached. And my new flashlight, I will be doing a review on this too. Insanely, incredibly bright flashlight, great flashlight. And then the Leatherman itself, you know, it's not a little squirt or whatever. So I'm like, you know, the fact that I can carry these things around in my EDC, you know, or the fact that some of these guys that carry knives around carry a pistol on their hip that's going to weigh at least 2-3 pounds. You know, 4 ounces, a quarter of a pound. It doesn't bother me. I understand where people are coming from, but it doesn't bother me personally. This is a good weight for me. I like this. This is substantial. People say, I want a light knife, so I forget that I'm carrying it. My problem is if it snags or I lose it or I go in my pocket to take something out and I knock that out and I don't hear it fall or whatever, I just lose my knife. If it's too light, you don't know you have it. How do you know you lost it? This is just big enough where it's not intrusive, it's not cumbersome, it's not in the way, but I will know that it's no longer there. A lot of times at work, I'll take it out, I'll use my knife for something, you know, close it up, whatever, and I might actually put it down and go do something else. I'll forget it. I've left my knife at work, I can't tell you how many times. This, I will know that it's missing. My bigger knives, I've gone, where the fuck is my knife? I've gone back into work and like, there it is. Smaller knives, I've just completely forgotten about until days later, and I'm like, fuck, where's my knife? So I've been carrying this all day to see how this weight feels, the size. I know people said it was kind of thick. Doesn't bother me. To carry this, I think it's not going to be a problem. I have a couple of more knives coming, and I'm going to carry and test them all. But quite honestly, this one is not a problem. This blade shape is beautiful for EDC carry. You know, you have a little bit of a recurve here, but this belly is really nice. This swedge up here to this little kind of a drop point there. I really like this. The only thing I can hit this knife on, in all actuality, that I have a problem, it's not size, it's not weight. The only thing that I can say as a consumer that I would have a problem with this knife is that the belt clip is reversible for tip up, tip down, but right hand only, not left hand. I'm right-handed, so that doesn't bother me personally, but as a consumer, that can be a complaint. As a personal complaint, for me, there is not enough jimping. If you can see this little bit of jimping right here, when you turn the knife sideways, there you go, you can't even see the jimping. It sits below the frame, so it's almost pointless to even have that jimping there. The only jimping you have is on the liner locker. I think they do that more as a favor to be able to, you know, actuate it over to close the knife more than actually having it open. But it does serve a purpose because it is a very deep finger choil, so to bury your finger in there is really nice. Now this little bit of, like I said, this little bit of a this recurve here, this little indentation right here, is where I rest my thumb, and it feels very comfortable. There's been a couple of knife reviews I've seen online where guys will go back in with their Dremel and actually Dremel themselves in a little bit of jimping. I might do that, depending on how much I use this and how much I carry this. If this does become my EDC knife, you know, full time, then yeah, maybe I'll do that. For right now, I'm just fine with it, you know. Or even if I decided to carry this in a tactical defensive manner, yeah, maybe I'll throw some jimping right here across the base of the spine and know that I got a good purchase, good lockup on the blade. But for now, I'm just going to kick it around as an EDC and see how it does. You know, be able to give you guys a better review on how I feel the blade holds up and how it carries. But for now, this is just, you know, wanted it to be quick. I'm already creeping on 16 minutes. But yeah, love this blade. I know it's been out for a while. I know there's a lot of reviews on it. But I just got mine today, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. So there it is, Kershaw Clash. Any questions, comments, feel free to post them. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. There'll be plenty more. I got some other knives coming. And there'll be plenty more tabletops and reviews and all that good stuff to come. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching this one, guys. Have a good one.